I have spent my entire life being told that everything I'm doing is a waste of time for my age, that I'm missing out on some sort of best time of human life, and that's just simply not true. You see, a few years ago, I set off to accomplish a mission. I wanted to become a millionaire before I turned 18. And in order to do this, I needed to make some sort of drastic changes in my life in order to get to that point. I'm now sitting here, 23 years old, and I have accomplished more than what I even initially set out to do in the first place. Now, one thing I want to note is this video is specifically for people that are in their 20s. And this video isn't to be taken as offensive to anybody in their later 20s or 30s or even 40s. If you're 30 or 40, working your ass off, a wife, children, I applaud you. You're the backbone to our society, and us youngsters, we can't thank you enough. When I reference older men, I'm specifically talking about the ones who aren't actively working to a larger goal and or are specifically just bringing down the younger adults. Now, let me tell you why I think enjoying your 20s is a whole lot of BS for men. Your 20s are your foundation decade. Let me get into this. So while everyone else is out partying and finding themselves, your 20s are where you are building the skills, the habits, the network that would determine your entire life trajectory. I mean, think about it. When I was 16, 17, 18, everyone told me I should be going to parties, dating around, experiencing life. But here's what they don't tell you. Your brain is literally at its peak learning capacity during these years. I didn't hit $10 million liquid by 21 on accident. That didn't happen because I was out enjoying my early 20s traditionally. It happened because while my peers were out getting drunk every weekend, I was learning copywriting, studying successful entrepreneurs, and building my first businesses. Your 20s aren't about finding yourself. As a matter of fact, they're about building yourself. And the foundation you lay during these years will determine whether or not you spend the rest of your life struggling or thriving. One thing I want to talk about is delaying your gratification actually compounds exponentially. Here's the math that nobody wants to talk about. The sacrifice you make at 23, 24, 25, up to 28 pays dividends for the next 50 years of your life. Every weekend you spend building instead of partying, every dollar you invest instead of spending on experience creates compound returns that your peers will never catch up to. Listen, let me give you a real example. While my friends were spending like $200 every weekend going out, I was investing that money. While they were sleeping in until noon on Saturdays, I was working on my business. This opportunity cost of enjoying your 20s is astronomical. Think about the compound interest. If you invest $1,000 at 21 versus investing that same $1,000 at 31, the difference after 30 years is massive. The same principle applies to skills, relationships, and business building. Starting early doesn't just give you a head start, it gives you an exponential advantage. Listen, your 20s are when you have a massive advantage. You are at your utmost maximum energy with your minimum responsibilities, and your brain is the most adaptable. This isn't just me talking, this is scientific fact. Your brain's flexibility is at its highest. You can pull all-nighters and recover quickly. You don't have a mortgage, kids, or major life responsibilities weighing you down. Wasting this on experiences and having fun is like having a Ferrari and using it to drive to the grocery store. You're squandering your most valuable resource. I see guys in their 30s trying to start a business while juggling a family, a mortgage, and declining energy levels. They're fighting an uphill battle that could have just been avoided if they started in their 20s and used that strategically. When you're 22, you can work 16-hour work weeks and bounce back. When you're 32 with kids, good luck with that. Use your biological advantages when you have them. Now, I do want to note, even if you aren't in your prime, like young years, you still have an incredible amount of time to do the things that you need to do and the things that you want to do to get to the point where you want to be in life. This isn't to offend anybody at any age, more specifically just to bring awareness to an inspiration to achieve at a young age. The fun myth versus real fulfillment. Here's what nobody tells you about the fun that you're supposedly missing. It's not actually that fun. The temporary dopamine hits from partying, traveling, and casual relationships pale in comparison to the deep satisfaction of building something meaningful. Listen, I've experienced both sides. I've been to parties, I've been to the normal young person things, and I can tell you with certainty that none of those experiences even come close to the rush of closing your first big deal and seeing your business grow or achieving a goal that you set out for yourself. Listen, real enjoyment comes from progress, achievement, and seeing your vision come to life, not from fleeting pleasures that you'll barely remember in 5 years. Those guys telling you to enjoy your 20s are often the same ones who are miserable in their 30s and 40s, wondering where their life went wrong. They're projecting their regrets onto you. Your 30s and 40s are when you actually start to enjoy life. Now, I'm not 30s or 40, but I can tell you that the entire plan that I built out for myself is to absolutely crush it within my 20s and then enjoy 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90 until I die. Now, here's the ultimate truth. When you sacrifice your 20s to build wealth and systems, your 30s become what everybody else's 20s were supposed to be. Except now you have the resources, the wisdom, and the freedom to truly experience things on your own terms. Now, we live in a generation where the wealthy have the most exceptional and beautiful life that you could have possibly imagined. I mean, you have private jets, you have incredibly fast cars, you have beautiful yachts, mega mansions. Life now as a wealthy individual has never been better. I can already see this playing out. While my peers are starting to stress out about their careers, student loans, and whether they can afford the house, I'm building multiple businesses and have the freedom to work from anywhere I want in the world. And this doesn't account for all those Amex points. Now, when you build wealth in your 20s and 30s, it's not about survival. They're about optimization. You're not traveling on a shoestring budget while trying to stay in hotels. As a matter of fact, you're staying in the best hotels because you can afford it. You're not dating out of the loneliness of desperation. In fact, you're choosing partners from a position of abundance and authority. Can you imagine a world in which you get to pick the exact woman that you want to end up with? Now, these experiences are the ones that you should have in your 30s and 40s, backed by financial freedom and wisdom, are infinitely better than anything else you could possibly have back in your 20s. I'm going to give you the harsh reality. Here's the harsh truth that nobody wants to acknowledge. Your peers enjoying their 20s will spend their 30s, 40s, 50s stressed about money, career, and missed opportunities while you're living the life they thought they were building towards. I see it happening already. These guys who partied through college are now working jobs they hate, living paycheck to paycheck, and wondering how they're going to afford their future. Meanwhile, the ones who sacrificed early are reaping the rewards. Listen, society has told a young man a lie that in your 20s, that this should be about the time for fun, and in your 30s should be about getting serious. But the most successful people I know did the opposite. They got serious in their 20s so that they could have real fun for the rest of their lives. Listen, obviously the choice is yours. I'm not saying you should never have fun or you should work 24/7 and not have a social life. But what I am saying is that in your 20s, you should have different priorities in line. They should be about building and not consuming. You have the rest of your life to enjoy the fruits of your labor, but you only have one chance to build the foundation that will support that lifestyle. The choice is simple. Sacrifice now for freedom later, or have fun now and struggle later. Most people choose the later because it's easier in the moment. But if you're watching this video, you're probably not most people. Your 20s aren't about finding yourself. As a matter of fact, they're about building yourself and turning yourself into a person who is capable of achieving your biggest dreams. Everything else is just noise. So while everybody is out enjoying their 20s, you will be the one building the life that will lead you truly to enjoy the next 50 years. And trust me, it's worth the trade making.